internationally.
To increase public awareness of the causes and costs of war.
To restrain our government
from intervening overtly and covertly in the internal affairs
of other nations.
To end the arms race.
To reduce and eventually eliminate nuclear weapons.
To seek justice for veterans and victims of war.
To abolish war as an instrument of national policy.
To achieve these goals, members of Veterans for Peace pledge to use nonviolent means
and to maintain an organization that is both democratic and open,
with the understanding that all members are trusted to act in the best interests of the group
for the larger purpose of world peace.
Red leather, yellow leather.
Let's go scrolling. Here we go. Ready, get set, action.
We will use our anger at injustice as a positive, non-violent force for change.
We will approach every encounter with fellow members and the public with positivity and mindfulness.
And with the assumption that concerns raised are coming from a positive place.
And present a learning opportunity.
Our attitude,
as conveyed through our words,
symbols, and actions,
will be one of openness, friendliness,
and respect towards all people we encounter.
All members have an important role to play in Veterans for Peace.
Regardless of previous military rank, branch, or combat experience,
we will respect one another as equal parts of a whole.
We will not assault verbally, in person, or online anyone,
to include fellow members and those who oppose or disagree with us,
even if they assault us.
This does not preclude a member's right
to defend themselves
against a physical attack.
In keeping with our commitment to achieving our goals through nonviolent means,
there is an expectation that members will not carry weapons with them
to Veterans for Peace events
or while representing Veterans for Peace,
regardless of the laws and their location.
We will follow the directions of designated coordinators
during public actions
organized on behalf of Veterans for Peace.
We'll use democratic principles within our organization to ensure an open, fair, inclusive, and transparent environment.
We will speak as members of Veterans for Peace,
but not for Veterans for Peace,
unless designated as a spokesperson for Veterans for Peace.
All members are free to speak for themselves or on behalf of their chapter as appropriate.
Sexist,
racist,
homophobic,
ageist,
transphobic,
gender discriminatory,
and all other discriminatory language and actions
are common within the military.
They are not acceptable within Veterans for Peace.
Our words and actions will maintain
the political and financial independence of Veterans for Peace.
To achieve the above goals, we will also engage in active listening.
That is, fully concentrating on what is being said,
rather than passively hearing the message of the speaker. All right, action.
I am a veteran of the Army National Guard.
of the United States Navy,
the United States Air Force,
of the U.S. Army,
And I am a veteran of the American War in Vietnam.
And I've been a member of Veterans for Peace.
for 2.5 years.
15 years.
Close to 30 years now.
for about a month now.
For over 1 year.
An active member for 20 years.
We as military veterans do hereby affirm our greater responsibility
To serve the cause of world peace. To this end, we will work with others both nationally and internationally.
To increase public awareness of the causes and costs of war.
To restrain our government.
From intervening overtly and covertly in the internal affairs
of other nations,
To end the arms race.
To reduce and eventually eliminate nuclear weapons.
To seek justice for veterans and victims of war.
to abolish war as an instrument of national policy.
To achieve these goals, members of Veterans for Peace pledge to use nonviolent means
and to maintain an organization that is both democratic and open.
With the understanding that all members are trusted to act in the best interests of the group.
For the larger purpose of world peace.
Red leather, yellow leather.
Let's go scrolling. Here we go. Ready, get set, action.
We will use our anger at injustice as a positive, nonviolent force for change.
We will approach every encounter with fellow members and the public with positivity and mindfulness.
And with the assumption that concerns raised are coming from a positive place.
And present a learning opportunity.
Our attitude,
as conveyed through our words,
symbols, and actions.
Hey, and welcome to Gamers for Peace, an initiative of Veterans for Peace. We are a group of anti-war veterans and allies who are speaking out against military recruitment to kids in gaming and streaming. And this is our Rocket League team practice. And as a team, we demonstrate good sportsmanship in online gameplay. We create inclusive gaming and streaming environments. And we have open discussions about the realities of military recruiting, service, and war. My name is Lil Pistons. I'm the Gamers for Peace Rocket League coach and a Veterans for Peace associate member. And with me today is my Rocket League team, starting with our tech guru, Sincerely V.
It's Sincerely, aka Chris in some places. I'm a United States Marine Corps vet, served Iraq, Afghanistan, 2004 to 2010. And I am a Veteran for Peace member. I'm also staff for Veterans for Peace and very happy to be doing so. Glad to be part of this community as a Gamers for Peace member and person on the Rocket League team. I'm done being resistant. I am proud that I drive a rocket power car. I don't care. I'm going full bore into it. Now, I want a rocket powered motorcycle, though. How do I get one of those to play this game with?
Maybe they'll come out with one.
Thoughts. Anyway, so that's me. I'm going to toss it over to our good friend. I heard him come back. Is that a Smedley Butler?
Well,
yeah. So I am Smedley Butler was right. Also known as Jeff, but in Twitch and Discord I go by Smedley Butler was right. I'm a Marine Corps vet, 2006 to 2014, and I did a tour in Iraq. I'm a member of the Smedley Butler Brigade in Veterans for Peace, and I am a member, obviously, of the Rocket League team. And I will pass it over to Yo-Yo.
okay. Hi, I'm highly sensitive unicorn in online spaces. You can also call me Yo-Yo. So I do like the unicorn. Got unicorn all over my car here. And I am a Gamer for Peace, a veteran ally, a Veterans for Peace associate member, and a Rocket League team member. I have a hard time talking while playing this game at the same time. So tonight we're going to be talking about the last 3 episodes of Star Wars The Bad Batch, and we're going to be talking about military themes and veteran themes that come up and how they relate to, real life scenarios. And so we're probably going to also touch on things related to what's happening in Afghanistan right now. So a little content warning about that. We're also planning to have a panel discussion with Gamers for Peace about that sometime in the near future. And if you feel like you are a veteran or a veteran ally and you would like some support or a community to engage in a discussion about what's happening in Afghanistan, feel free to join us in our Discord. There's a lot of discussion going on there. I think the links to Discord are somewhere on Twitch down below somehow. I don't really know where it is on the Twitch thing.
We'll drop it.
But I think there's like a button that you can click to join our Discord. Yeah. And thanks for joining us.
Boom. I just dropped the link to Discord in the chat. So there's that.
Awesome. Thanks, Sin. Did you want to say anything else, Sin, about?
I just want to plug an earlier conversation I was had with a new member of Gamers for Peace, but a longtime member of GFP. LouDog77 was on site during an action in LA today, and as part of a press conference, and we did a live conversation with him about Afghanistan veterans returning home in light of the current events that are going on. It was an interesting conversation. Check that out. You can check that video out down below. And I'm pretty sure he's going to be part of the panel that we're setting up to discuss the events of Afghanistan, all of it, and start unpacking things. So there's a lot of us in the community that are trying to unpack our feelings about this, along with completely understand in the context, the complex nature of it all, along with understand as events unfold that nobody has a right answer right now. So we're looking to have this conversation in the very near future. So check that video out. And that's all I got right now. I'm sure Afghanistan is going to come up in conversation a few times.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, go ahead, Yo-Yo.
I was just going to say, I want to add that since Sin and I are the only 2 faces on screen, that I am very, like, my face reacts a lot to what's happening in the game. So if, like, there's, like, something, like, being said that looks like I'm making a face that is not crap, relevant to the discussion, it's because I am, like, playing poorly in the game. So...
That's a good disclaimer, probably.
Like if I
all of our
or shit or something like that, it's probably because of the game and not about the content we're discussing.
That's very fair. Good disclaimer. So yeah, we are talking about the last 3 episodes of Bad Batch. This is the end of season 1, and they. You know what? I'll be honest. I'm gonna need a little help with the synopsis because
sure,
it's been a long day.
Yeah. Okay. So I could probably do it because, like I always do, I take stream of consciousness notes. So I make my notes as I'm watching it and not like after the fact. So it's just in order of what happens.
Aren't we just special?
It's just how I do things. It's how I organize my mind. So episode 14 opens with very Jurassic Park vibes going on. There's a clone running through the forest. We later find out, I mean, we don't know too much about him, but he is another clone that decides he doesn't want to be part of the Empire's imperialism, so he's on the run in a remote planet. and the Bad Batch is called to rescue him. So that's sort of their mission in episode 14. And then I don't know if like I could continue to summarize the episode, but I don't know if we want to. Like, you want me to summarize the whole episode, Kristen? I can. No. So Hunter ends up getting captured in this episode. Is like that's sort of what happens by Crosshair. So like while they are on this mission to rescue this other clone, Hunter ends up getting sort of left behind and captured by his old, teammate Crosshair, and is used as bait to capture the rest of the Bad Batch, or like that's the plan anyway. So that's where we start in episode 14.
Yeah, I thought. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say that
Oh.
I in my homework of
Did you binge
watching,
them?
I binged 2 episodes today. I caught 15 and 16.
That's not a binge.
Yeah, that's not a binge.
Right now, I know it's not. Don't judge me on my binging credentials at this moment. They are not my strong point. I'm normally a binger. I wasn't able to completely binge. So I watched 15 and 16. I didn't see 14. So you guys are on your own for this conversation. I'm just gonna be quiet. If you know me, I'm really good at being quiet, so I'm just gonna do that.
Well, I mean, I think. Oh, wait, Smedley, do we need to pick you up in the lobby?
Yeah, if you can.
Or I think I can do it from here.
Let me
Right?
see.
See, yeah, you're still showing up as that signet, but it's not green, so I can't like invite you.
Huh.
Okay. Oh, Pacifist Warvet's calling you out in the chat, Sin.
The best.
Thank you for that validation, Pacifist. I really appreciate you confirming the fact that I am so good at being quiet. Thank you.
I want to actually, before we start talking about Bad Batch, I want to hear your reaction to the soapbox audio that Pacifist Warvet put together for you.
I so badly need to like sit down and do the emojis and sounds, and that is going to be the first sound that goes in.
Yes.
I love it.
I haven't been able to listen to it because it's a file that my iPad doesn't open, and I haven't tried to listen to it on a computer, so I don't know what it sounds like.
It is a Full Metal Jacket reference that starts with the Rifleman's Creed, which is a Marine Corps thing, and Rifleman's Creed starts with "This is my rifle. There are many like it." This is my soapbox. Like it. And
I love it.
and I'm going to say that it actually came up multiple times during convention. And with Pacifist Warvet quoting it in our social room multiple times. So I think it's appropriate, and I appreciate you, Pacifist Warvet. I appreciate you so much. I can't wait to make that a thing. It's gonna happen. Medley? I can't invite you either.
Oh, really?
Nah, I can't invite him. Can you join games, Medley? Can you join a game?
I tried to a minute ago and it wouldn't let me. I think I wasn't. It looked like I was connected. I could see all three of you, but like on my end, it looked like I was connected, but I think maybe I wasn't really connected. One of these days, I'm gonna call my internet provider and figure out what the heck is going on.
It's all good. We're glad to have you for the conversation, at least.
Yes, for sure.
Do you have us in like a club match right now? Or regular matches?
I just hit private.
Okay,
I just
cool.
hit private match. Do you want something different?
No, I was gonna say if we did the club one, he could just join when he finally reconnects. And then
Oh, we can do that after this one.
oh,
Cool.
my game timed out. I didn't even get to join it.
Oh, okay, mine too. I don't know. We can do a club one.
So, in episode 14, they're
How do you
also.
do it?
Oh yeah.
How do you do a
that?
club one
You
real quick?
Go
Yeah.
to profile and then scroll down to club, and you can create a private match
Oh.
right there.
Okay. Cool. All right. There we go. Sorry, you were saying unicorn?
Oh yeah, so I was kind of gonna give another like big theme that's happening in episode 14, aside from the rescue mission and then Hunter getting captured, is also the whole like the Kaminoans and their like clone situation is kind of like being decommissioned in this episode.
Mhm.
So like that's sort of like one of the big themes that is happening. What I thought was interesting is there was this line that was like, I don't remember who's. Oh, it was Gregor, the clone that they were rescuing. He was talking about the new soldiers or the new troopers, and he says they're not as skilled, but there's an endless supply of them. And to me, I'm like, isn't there an endless supply of clones? Like, you just literally keep cloning them. Like, just like keep. Is it because there's an endless supply across the galaxy? Right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's it. It's like you got to grow those clones. It takes time, but
Gotcha.
there's already plenty of fodder in the galaxy, basically.
Yeah. So like that line that's like they're not as skilled as like these clones that we are like intricately putting together, but we've got so many of them. Quantity over quality, I guess.
Yeah, like overwhelm them with numbers. Shoot, I was just watching something that talked about that. Now I can't remember what that was. I don't know. Maybe it was Bad Batch. I don't know. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. And then like, I don't remember. So the way that I think about the episodes is in themes. So I don't ever remember like what episode is what. But there's like, I think it's Crosshairs who talks about. He says like we're superior, and this idea of superiority and supremacy.
Yeah.
Even with clones who are manufactured tools, really.
Yeah, I think that sort of comes up later in the last two episodes when there's like this like, is Crosshair gonna like join them again? Like, is he gonna see that the Empire is like not on his side? And he has this like, it seems like he's sort of like disillusioned, and I was wondering, that's a good, like from a veteran's perspective, I would like to hear what you all think. Like this, like, no, like Crosshair believes that the Empire is always going to have his back because like he is such a good soldier and he's so valuable to them that they would never like not want him. Right, like it's like almost like this disillusionment, even though he can see it. Like literally, they're just destroying everything around him and not coming back to save him. Still believe.
Like, do you think that's it though? Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. That's it.
Oh, I was gonna say, do you think that he thinks that they'll support him, or does he just want to be on the winning team and he thinks that's going to be the Empire?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it could be interpreted several ways.
I think I would say that he does believe that the Empire is the winning team, but that's not why he's there. I think he believes in the mission, but he doesn't even understand what the mission actually is. Because all he is this warrior, the soldier, the sniper. So I don't think he can extend a future to be beyond this war, this one role that he has, and that means that he has to believe in that mission. He has to believe that because the Empire is what created him, and if that's all he knows, I don't think he realizes that there's something else, that he's more than just what the Empire made him. Or it literally made him, or created him to be. And then further indoctrinated by the application of the inhibitor chip and all that stuff. So, yeah, I think that's where he's at. I think he believes in the mission, and he believes that there's some sort of peace on the backside.
I don't know if he necessarily believes that there's peace, but I have this I guess
order.
He believes it. He believes in order and a unified galaxy underneath the team that he's been on. Because that's obviously the winning team. It's the team that he's on. They're doing the good work because he wouldn't be working for the bad side. But they're just going to unify the galaxy at any cost because that's the mission.
Yeah. So I guess I see some comparisons to what maybe post 9/11 vets may have experienced, and or any veteran when they go in, right, this belief in the mission. Because if you don't believe in the mission, then you have to admit you're there doing something against your values or against, you know what I mean? So if you don't believe in the mission, what are you doing? And so for Crosshair, he has to 100% dive into that. I don't know. That's something that I was thinking about.
I think
Especially
that's a
when
great take.
it comes out. Yeah, and especially when it comes out that he is hurt by the actions of the Bad Batch, them writing him off basically.
Yeah.
And leaving him behind.
Yeah.
It's he's got nobody now besides the Empire.
So we're getting into episode 15 here, and I was saving my one takeaway, my one planned takeaway, and we're there already. So you're fucking up my entire line.
Oh,
and,
well, I'm sorry.
You'll have lots more to talk about. You'll have lots more to talk about.
Okay, good. I think that what you're talking about, them abandoning him, that conversation, there's a lot of I think he has a lot of guilt. I think there's a belief and a recognition that there is something wrong with the situation he's in, and he doesn't know how to do anything, or he didn't feel like he had any power to change it. And that there's a level of guilt in that line, in that conversation that he has with Hunter. And which I think is something that a lot of post 9/11 vets deal with and think about, is that it's an irredeemable thing. Once I've done once I've discovered that I have this moral injury of the things I've done, can I be healed? And what we're trying to have explained to or shown to us is the breadth of what PTSD plus indoctrination, how that plays out. I think PTSD or moral injury and other mental health type diagnoses play a bit into reinforcing indoctrination until the healing process is done in certain people. I would go out and be if I feel like I'm irredeemable, I can only commit to this what I know if I've done so much bad and been abandoned and all this, and that's all I have left is just the empire for which I worked. And I think that's something that happens in real life with post 9/11 vets, Vietnam vets. I think vets since PTSD, the recognition of PTSD and moral injury has been a thing. Have been doing something with that. That series of feelings. But I'm also not a clinician or specialist in the mental health field, so I defer.
I think you can speak to your own experiences. Totally valid. It's interesting because Crosshair, because the rest of the Bad Batch is like, no, Crosshair, it wasn't you, it was this inhibitor chip. Like they're like trying to help him, no, like the Empire did this to you. This isn't like who you are. And then we find out that Crosshair had his inhibitor chip removed a long time ago.
Yeah.
We don't know when yet. And he's like, no, it is me. Yeah, I was like, what?
I was like, what the heck?
I want to go back to the first episode and see if he had that scar on the side of his head in the first episode.
I don't think he did.
And they also tortured him with it, didn't they? Didn't they? They
didn't torture him. They were trying to amp it up, but I wouldn't say that's not. They didn't torture him.
It was painful, wasn't it?
I don't think it was.
I guess you're right. It wasn't torture because he willingly did it, I guess.
Well, I don't it doesn't show him in pain. It shows Wrecker in pain when it's like, wouldn't say when it's not malfunction. It's when it was functioning correctly.
Yeah.
He was trying to fight it. It shows him in pain.
For some reason, I think I have the memory of Crosshair screaming when they turned up the volume on the inhibitor chip.
Yeah, I seem to remember that too.
Really? I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I think maybe it's a creepy scene. It's creepy because he's in this MRI looking thing, and it's brain stuff. So I think it's creepy. Maybe that's. But I don't know. I could be misremembering for sure.
I'm pretty sure the scene is, you're right. He's in an MRI thing and he's laying there and he's like, what's going on? And they turn it up a little bit. There's no reaction. And then the Admiral reaches over and cranks it all the way to the top and you hear him scream. Or you see him under duress. And I would also call that torture because it's modifying the mind of somebody under duress or forcibly. He didn't willingly consent to having his mind altered. And his perception of the world and his ability to control his behaviors.
He's also a clone.
Then we're back into that argument.
Yeah.
Is he a person?
I believe that clones are people because once they are out of their test tube, they have their own unique experiences and develop and think as it's a clone so much in that they're identical twins, just constantly repeat it and having their genes modified, but they are still functioning beings.
I agree. I think because they're what their experiences alter their personality, so they do become individuals after the cloning process.
The clones aren't droids that are going. The clones aren't the yes droids. What's the ones that were in the Clone War movies, the prequels?
Oh yeah.
They're not those that sit there. Exactly, the B1s, where they sit there and go yes, and have barely any sentience. They can observe their area and they can execute orders. The clones are people that have been biologically and educationally indoctrinated and perfected behind the scenes, but they still have brains and minds, and you could argue souls because they're still individuals.
Right, well, we don't know about soul is a whole different thing. But I want to ask a question. So, Piston, let's say someone took your genetic material, right now in real life, because we're doing this right now, and cloned you, and there was a person, right, that came of that. Is that not a person? Because that's what's happening here, right? They just happen to have technology installed into their brains.
There's so much more going on because it is so controlled. It's such a controlled environment. It's not just simply setting someone loose in the world.
But
And then
So-
I also have mixed feelings about the droids in Star Wars too, obviously. Not the ones that you guys are talking about, but like, I mean, what's the little droid that
AZ.
A something?
AZ.
AZ. Well, let's talk about AZ. Like,
I know.
like, I don't know. Like when she, okay, did you all see Rogue One? I feel like
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
everyone, but maybe Yo-Yo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
with
Yo-Yo saw
BB-8.
Rogue One?
Oh.
No.
I think
No, sorry.
BB-8.
There's so many names. I don't know. What's I think I have seen it.
Rogue
One is.
Oh, sorry. No, I
go
was
ahead.
just going to say that's the one where they show the rebels stealing the plans to the Death Star.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure.
It's,
Like I said, I've
it's
seen
the
all
most.
of them. Just
It's the most depressing Star Wars, and it's also the best Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
I would
Fantastic.
actually second that. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
so Pacifist War Vet says they are individuals because they all have brains with different neural connections from each other.
But they don't. They're all the
They do.
same.
They
No,
do.
they don't, because if they were all the same, then they would all literally behave the same, and we see
They're-
that they don't.
But then they're
Pistons.
altered purposely by the Kaminoans.
Yeah,
Kaminoans, yeah.
They're altered in a
Kaminoans.
way that makes them stronger. So they've modified their DNA to predispose these people to develop muscle faster. They've increased their the amount of testosterone their body produces. They have perfected the way to
Performance
genetically
enhancing
modify.
drugs.
Yeah, all they've done is modify.
But they
the
modify
base
their
DNA.
they modify their thinking too, because they say it in Attack of the Clones. They're like, she's like modified to be more docile.
Yeah,
So they modify their personalities and their brain.
But they still have a personality. It's modified.
It's
But also, like the
epigenetics, so-
droids. Are the droids?
I feel like this
Do they have
conversation
human
needs to be on
status?
Rock Galactic.
I'm-
Not Galactic. We got to bring that back.
Okay.
And talk about droids
Yeah.
versus clones versus.
Well, the droid in Rogue One, which I feel bad I can't remember its name, but oh shoot, I'm gonna get that goal. Dang it. I was like super surprised. Okay, obviously that movie is very depressing and everyone dies. Spoiler alert. But even when the droid died, I was so sad. I was like, damn them for like making me get sad over this walking computer. But
Yeah, I don't know.
But then when AZ was gonna die, I was like, I can't believe that she just got out of that tube to get that stupid piece of metal. And like, I was so pissed that she did that for that droid.
So,
But maybe because we hadn't spent as much time with him, you know.
I think drones are people, like not drones, but
Droids.
Droids are people with personality. Like R2D2 is a sentient being, even though he only speaks
Yeah.
in like binary and beeps. He's a sentient being. Like in the future, we've developed
yeah,
AI
I
and
think it's
cloud
hard.
computing to the point where
Yeah.
they are sentient. They can think.
I think
and
it's
their
really
sensors
hard
allow
for
them to
us.
feel.
To comprehend, because like this is so like in futuristic, like AI is
I know.
like really
But
like
it's a galaxy a long time ago.
But it-
A long time ago.
time is relative. So while it's a long
yeah,
time
exactly.
ago,
Time is all everything in the galaxy is all
Ooh,
happening at
snap.
the same time, and
it's
Snap.
not. Yeah, it's not Earth, and it's
That's
not
true.
like our galaxy.
That's
So the
true.
galaxy is like 20 billion years old, and all fucked up, and you know. So while it's a long time ago to us, to them, it's their future. It's their sci-fi.
it's so
Yeah,
cool.
it's like restraining bolts and stuff, puts it in a different light. And like, why do you need restraining bolts for your droid unless they do have
yeah,
some kind of freedom, free
Mhm.
will?
But
Yeah.
they're programmed to be excellent and the best at what they do. But that doesn't remove their individuality. in the case of the clones, it's like epigenetics. It's toying with epigenetics to pass down genetic material of your predecessors, which includes that includes the environmental factors over influencing the.
We're digressing so much.
Yeah. But
I like it. But
want to come back to the reason I feel like it's an important point is that so much of the Bad Batch story and the depiction of these of the clone troopers and the change to the change in from them to the conscription force is mirrors so much of the modern Marine experience. Because when you sit in the chow hall, it looks the same, and everybody hair is cut the same way, and they've gone through boot camp the same way, and have the same standards and things that they pass by. Some are better at than certain things than others. MOSs change, and then they get indoctrinated to perform a certain way in a certain hierarchy to a certain standard and very explicitly. And then you start getting divergences because of personal experiences between people. But the overall mission that Crosshair is absolutely stuck on and attached to is the Marine Corps mission. It's the same mission. It take Ryloth and swap it with Iraq. What happens when the stormtroopers abandon Ryloth? Like the Empire just abandoned it to interplanetary factional disputes in the power vacuum, right? The Empire is forcibly colonizing the world by just having a presence of stormtroopers or clone troopers, which clone troopers are identical in that they are expected to perform the same, and that as many variables are dictated in that performance.
Down when you need it.
That's it. I think that's the parallel to take away from it, though, is that a clone trooper and the dilemma
we got it.
that we're discussing is the modern thing.
I guess it would be. I'm sure Unicorn, the expert here, it would be the whole Skinner's box debate, right?
Oh, nature versus nurture, right? The thing is that it's both, right? It's always both. We like to think in binary and black and white because like we want it to make sense, but the reality is everything's gray, and we can't make sense of things like this. It's just how it is. Our brains aren't big enough yet. Maybe one day they will be.
So, how do we loop all this back to Crosshair? Because that was like so surprising.
No, so that's the thing is Crosshair. It depends. The conversation about Crosshair all depends on how we look at him as a clone and the ramifications of when he had his chip removed, their ability to be individuals, and how like that fact that if they are people or not, like that's why we were having that conversation, because to talk about Crosshair and the interactions of the Bad Batch and all the clones and their ability to disregard inhibitor chips, walk away from the Empire, their feelings regarding the Empire after the time in service, the realization they're being discarded and cannon fodder and are expendable and getting taken out of the picture. All those things come back to, are these recognizable beings, or are they just machines completely programmed? And I personally don't think they can be machines that are unfeeling and unknowing of their predicament.
Can we hear from Smedley? How about Smedley do some talking? I know it's hard to get a word in sometimes with us.
No, I don't know. It's like I definitely agree with Sin that the clones are like their own people, I think. And I'm sorry, Pistons.
I'm not
I like
100% on
the-
one side or the other. I'm just
I like-
questioning it, you know.
I like the droids. You know, I grew up with R2D2 and what's his
Oh.
face?
No.
But you have 10
K9
points. What are you talking about,
and
Pip?
stuff. But yeah, so like I liked it when Omega went and saved AZ because like AZ was her only friend for the longest time. So
It reminded me of when Hedwig died. Spoiler alert: Hedwig dies.
If anyone doesn't know that by now,
I know. Like it's just
they're
like
either
Hedwig.
like 10 years old and sorry, like read faster, or you're not into Harry Potter.
Yeah, it's like a pet almost. Like I felt like
Yes, a pet. But if you are in the ocean, gonna drown.
yeah, I'm definitely going back and
For your
saving my pet. Yes, I would.
Oh,
1000%.
no.
I would rather die than like say I didn't try to save my dog.
I do
No.
not think that Omega saw AZ as a pet in any way, shape, or form. I don't think so. I think AZ and the way that realm or that galaxy, the canon looks at the droids is as sentient people, just educated differently. I think they're lower class citizens. I think they get treated poorly, and I think it also depends on the level of the intelligence inside the droid, like depending on what its programming is. But I think AZ is a being, as in like an absolute being that is more than a pet to Omega. That's the only, like, I agree with you. Like if that was the situation with my dog, I'd get out the tube to try to save my dog. But like the
But if
manner,
your dog
it would be different.
had like risked its life to get you to save you, and then you freaking drown trying to save it, like you're just the waste of your dog's life. Do you know what I'm saying? But that's a whole other thing. The thing about droids though is that, and we see that like Pacifist War Vet mentioned C-3PO, like that's one of the main or first things you see in Star Wars is that they can be reset. They can be totally wiped. Everything gone. And so, I don't know. If you can be 100% reset, are you really an individual being? And like intentionally not reset. Or intentionally reset, I mean.
Well, I think we see a few times when like you convince the droids to do something against what their like programming is. Like when Omega like convinces the droid to let her escape when she's like locked in, and like obviously they have some, you know what I mean? Like, because if they were totally programmed one way to like not let the prisoner out of the cell, she wouldn't have been able to get out. But she like convinced him because he has, I don't know, some free will of some sort. I don't know.
But what I'm saying is like he can be wiped at any time. Like everything that he has stored in his memory banks can be cleared. Wait, first of all though, Smedley, how am I gonna invite you to this party?
I don't know. I've been.
Or Sin, can you try?
I've been playing in these private matches.
Yeah, I think he was with us.
Let me.
Right, but I was gonna put us into a chaos match, but he's not in our party.
Oh. Maybe we could
okay.
just like disband our party and restart.
Try that.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Do you want to send one, Sin?
So.
Yeah, I'll send one in a second.
If you'll indulge me for a minute, I'm going to really nerd out on this idea of having your mind wiped. Okay, we've talked about Firefly on past streams, but we have not talked about the other epic Joss Whedon sci-fi show, that was canceled too soon, and that is Dollhouse.
I haven't seen that.
I have
one,
never
yeah.
seen that one.
Oh yeah, you need to watch that one. It's, replace the droids with humans when you're talking about wiping memories. The Dollhouse is, you have, and it's, they're very sexualized, the men and women in the Dollhouse. But you have these people that I don't want to spoil too much of the show because hopefully you'll go and watch it. But you have these people that sign up to, like, for a certain period of their lives, they sign up to be the property of a company, and they live in what is called the Dollhouse. And uber rich people pay the company to have these people that they call dolls when they enter the Dollhouse, to have them uploaded with a very particular set of skills.
Okay. Gotcha.
And go on secret scroll missions for them. Sometimes they're assassinating people. Sometimes they're high-priced sex workers, but a lot of the times it's like industrial espionage or assassination or stuff like that. And at the end of the day, once they've done their mission that the company was paid for them to do, their memory gets wiped and they go back to this blank slate.
Interesting.
But I don't think you would argue that they are not people. Yeah, they're fully human.
Interesting.
Right, but they signed a contract. If droids don't sign a contract, they're.
That just means that they're slaves. That doesn't mean that they're not sentient beings. It just means that they're slaves.
Well, I'm talking about people.
Well, so here's what Pacifist Warbet says in chat, and I think I like how she explains it. I think each time they are reset, they become, like, this was when you asked about droids being wiped, right? I think that each time they are reset, they become a new being, and that reset is the death of the previous being. So it's a life-death cycle that it's just a new being that doesn't have any memory of its previous life.
Yeah.
And I would go out and say, like, we have cases of people that have, like, complete amnesia. No matter how rare it is, there are still cases of people that forget who they are and forget everything about them. But that doesn't remove the fact that, like, that doesn't remove them from being human and or having the ability to change everything about themselves, since they don't have a memory. So it's comparable.
Are there any instances in the Star Wars universe where, like, that's happened, where, like, a droid has been, like, quote unquote wiped, and then like the protagonists or whatever have, like, convinced them that they were, like with C-3PO? Like, what happens with C-3PO?
Oh, he doesn't get wiped.
Isn't there, like, one of the, like, protagonist droids that happens to, and then, like, the protagonists are like, maybe I'm thinking of a different movie.
Well, he gets chopped up into pieces at one point, and that kind of screws with him, but he doesn't get reset.
Okay.
Which, if you got chopped up into pieces, yeah, that would mess with you, of course. But
it's hard for us to, like, because they treat them as, like, humans and people in the story. So, like, like, we can't, like, because we're not, like, it's so foreign to us. Like, we'll never understand. But, like, in their universe, like, to them, they are, like, beings. So that's how I operate when I, like, read or watch any sort of, like, fantasy or sci-fi or anything like that. I'm like, whatever the characters think, that's what it is.
That's a good way to look at it.
And I think like,
nice.
I think it's whatever they identify as. It's kind of this conversation almost makes me feel like we're tying into gender conversation about like setting your gender identity and how that is a fluid concept, and it's much bigger than the gender spectrum and gender binary of being male and female. I think there's a tie-in. Like if Alexa woke up in me in the middle of the night with its loud ass beeps, like randomly set off an alarm and was like, sincerely, I would like to be referred to as blah. I am a being. That's what it is. That if it tells me what it is, that's what it is. And I think that if a clone was to tell me like, no, I'm a thinking, feeling being, it's the thinking, feeling being.
Right now, I would freak the fuck out. But if I was in Star Wars,
I was
like,
gonna say,
that
for
would be
real.
different. Like, if we're gonna like try and bring it into our present day context, that's a little scary. But if I was in Star Wars, like, okay, maybe, you know.
I mean, in present day, I would be terrified, absolutely terrified. I'd be destroyed. I'd be a useless being if that happened to me currently. But damn right, I'm gonna call it whatever the fuck it wants because it controls my entire house. Like, I'm like, yep,
get it.
Yep, it gets rights.
Wait,
I'd be like, okay, the CIA is like really interested in what I'm doing for some reason. Oh shoot! Don't let them score. What was I gonna say? Oh, so part of this is like one of the themes that I saw in these 3 episodes. Well, it's been in other episodes too. Hold on one second. Get out of here. Damn it. Is this idea of like personal responsibility. And so, you know, they're all, as we've already been talking about, the rest of the Bad Batch, and Omega especially, is willing to be like, oh, Crosshairs, it wasn't you, it was the inhibitor chip. But we find out that's not the case. And so where does like personal responsibility happen when, oh shoot, no, why did I leave the goal too early? In situations like duress or, you know, heavy indoctrination and things like that. Because I think that's a big part of Bad Batch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think. See, I still think that there's an option, and they may go with this in the future. But I was thinking today when I was rewatching those episodes, and he was talking about having the inhibitor chip removed, and I was thinking about that episode where they were trying to amp up his inhibitor chip, and I was thinking, well, what are the chances that while he still had that inhibitor chip in there and they were trying to amp it up, what are the chances that that did permanent damage to the rest of his brain? You know, so that even after he had that inhibitor chip taken out, he still had certain you know, dedication to the empire, and you know, a good soldier follows orders. You know, what if that, even though he had the chip removed, what if it permanently changed
Oops, sorry.
something in his brain, you know?
So,
right.
I want to put my mental health professional hat on here. So, because Pacifist Warvet says, yeah, I can't get past my personal responsibility, and even in the face of indoctrination, she says she could have said no, you know, as a veteran, and she didn't. But I think, like, you know, I mean, this is why vets have PTSD, right? Or why anyone has PTSD is because if you really could have said no, like maybe you would have, but there's a lot of other things going on in your life. Like, what would have happened to you? Like, would it have been safe for you in that moment? Like, what? I think our brains do things to protect. And if it's not safe, you know, like if you had a squadron of people who were all gonna dissent at the same time, you might be more likely to dissent. But if it's just you, like, you know, and you feel powerless and you feel like you don't have agency, it's a different thing. And the human mind is so complex. We just don't know enough about it at all. But like that's like whenever I work with people with PTSD, that's one of the things we talk about. And yeah, I don't know like what your thoughts are, the veterans in the room about that.
No, get out of there. Sorry.
I wanna before I answer, I wanna throw a shout out to Ludog77 who just gave us a follow. Thanks for following.
Woohoo! Yeah.
Thanks for appearing on our little shindig earlier today. Back to the question. I think there is culpability. I think there's...
I didn't say there's not, like, responsibility after the fact or anything. Like, it doesn't, like... I'm just saying, like no. Could have, should have, would have. It's a whole different... That's a different thing. The
whole system is set up to make you not dissent, not recognize the fact that you have the ability to dissent. It's an extreme respect for authority and hierarchy. And your education during the entire process, right? You're like we barely have touched on recruiting practices that are like the pre-indoctrination that occurs while you're being recruited and you're in depth, the delayed entry program is already setting you up and preconditioning you and grooming you for not disobeying or recognizing the moral and social implications of what you're doing, signing up for. It's grooming behaviors. It's predatory grooming behaviors. And once you're there, once you go to boot camp, it's reinforced with cult-like behaviors in an abusive hierarchical manner. So yeah, if your entire unit is about to dissent and mutiny, then absolutely you're more likely to do it, because that's where, like, the Marine Corps prides itself on developing good leaders, but all they do is create amazing followers that follow doctrine and not have voice in their actions. I'm sorry, Little Pistons, I didn't realize that was you. I fucked you up, my fault.
No, it's okay. I was like, no.
I thought that I went colorblind.
Oh, now that dude's trolling us. Now that guy's trolling us now, or that person, I should say.
I have like a not like veteran related thing. So like, my parents growing up hit us and like used things like belts or other things to hit us, and would ask me or my brothers to go get the weapon that they were going to use on our sibling to then utilize that. So like I would be told to like go get the thing and then have to watch this happen. And could I have said no and not have done that? Like maybe. But like really, did I have a choice? Like and I'm not like, even if you like take age into account, like this happened until, you know, I was well into my teens. So I guess, like, we have to, like, sort of take into account the whole circumstance here. Like, not only, like, your, like, ability to say no in certain situations may not be actually as much as you think it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that we should, you know, demonize ourselves afterwards. So, like, in Crosshair's situation, they like say like, you can come with us now, like, you know, we're still willing to accept you, you can still say no, like, we're here to help you dissent. And then he chooses. So like that, maybe that's like a different situation where we could say like, yeah, Crosshair is definitely culpable now. Right. But I don't know, that's sort of, you know, my 2 cents on that.
They give him a couple chances throughout the series, I think. I mean, it's the same thing, like, that thin blue cult BS. Like, you don't say anything because then maybe they don't back you up later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I was thinking of, I've been thinking of the incident, the My Lai massacre, and I always forget the name of the person who stood up to the rest of his squad, and I feel bad, like I feel awful because I should be able to remember his name, um, you know, as someone who is a amateur history buff. You would think like I would be able to remember his name, but I always forget his name. But like you have to think at the back of his mind, um, there had to be the thought of, okay, what if these guys shoot me? You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like he was holding his weapon on some of them to stop them. What he had to be thinking, like, this is the moment. Like, am I going to have to shoot one of them, or are one of them going to shoot me? And I think that that's a major deterrent. Like, it's, um, my wife, she watches all sorts of different stuff on YouTube and reads all sorts of different stuff, but occasionally, she'll read things like she read this one book about some abolitionists called the Grimke Sisters. They were abolitionists, and they were also active in the early feminist movement and whatnot. And talking talking about like the mob mentality that was going on in some of these events, where people who were very pro-slavery were attacking the abolitionists, and just that's just in regular everyday life that you have to worry about. Am I the only one that thinks this is wrong? Am I going to get lynched by a mob? Like, for ordinary people in an everyday circumstance, that's going to be in the back of your mind. But then when you add weapons into the mix, it's even harder to be that lone dissenter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that
Sorry.
point about safety was a really important one.
Yeah, Pacifist Warbet, we are always hardest on ourselves. She was saying in the chat that she's harder on herself than she is on other people when it comes to things like that.
Uh-oh. What else about Bad Batch?
Oh man, I have so many things. This chaos match. Let me go back to the goal. I'm gonna go back to the goal.
I mean, the theme of desertion and being a traitor resurfaced, of course.
I did want to talk a little bit about that interaction between Hunter and Crosshair, where Hunter's like, we don't abandon our team or whatever he says, and Crosshair is like, you left me behind.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking about like what happened when and Hunter says, well, you left us no choice because like you like tried to kill us. And then I remember what happened with Wrecker, where Wrecker like literally tried to kill them because of their inhibitor chip, and they saved him. And so like what is the difference between what happened? Is it because it was just Wrecker and like Wrecker wasn't backed by a whole squad like Crosshair was? And I just wonder what like Crosshairs must feel like knowing, that like they didn't come back for him.
I wonder if it's too like that, they had a lot more time to bond as non-Republic soldiers, whereas like Crosshairs, they had to leave him like in the beginning of them running away, and versus when Wrecker kind of got dangerous to be around. They'd already been together for a while. So maybe there's just more trust there or more understanding of like, oh, he's not this way. Oh shit, sorry.
I mean,
I
I would say when it happened with Crosshair, like they were still reeling from the announcement of the Empire and trying to figure out what it meant for them, and they didn't know about the inhibitor chips at that point. But with Wrecker, they had gone through however much time, a few episodes, however much time that represents in their world. With Wrecker, seeing that he had resisted the effects of the inhibitor chip, and in that episode they could see him still trying to fight it as it was trying to take over.
What I love about Wrecker in these episodes is when Wrecker says, Crosshair, like, you could have come back at any time. Like, we would have taken you back. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I love Wrecker. He just, like, warms my heart. He's just, like, a feel-good character for me.
That's a good point, like, of popularity. Like, Crosshairs is not as likable a guy as Wrecker. So, it could be that, and if you're not as likable, like, it's true, people don't trust you as much. So it could have just been that he's just kind of a jerk and people didn't trust that he wasn't gonna. Got that goal.
I missed it.
All good.
What were you gonna say, Smedley?
I was just gonna say I really loved that scene in episode 14 when they were debating whether they should go and save Gregor, and everybody that had a different take on it, Wrecker was like, "Oh yeah, Echo's got a point. Oh yeah, Tech's got a point. Oh yeah, Omega's got a point." I loved that scene.
Wait, what scene was that again? I was crunching on some pretzels and I didn't hear you. Sorry.
It was the one where like Wrecker kept going back and forth in the debate, like everyone having different opinions about whether they should go on the mission, and Wrecker's like, "Oh yeah, that's a good point."
He's so funny. Okay.
Don't want to get one more goal. All right.
Winner, Gamers for Peace.
Yeah, I don't know why it said orange last time. That was disappointing, but I'm glad it says Gamers for Peace this time.
Let's see what else is going on in my notes here.
I just want to talk about how, like, wonderfully moody that whole underwater battle scene, or like destruction scene. I thought that was
I hate
gorgeous.
Underwater.
I loved it.
Creepy. Like, this is why, so Sin has convinced me to get open water, scuba dive certified, and, like, this is, like, a huge fear of mine. Like, being, like, the ocean, like, I would rather go out into outer space than go into the ocean, because it's so scary. Underwater, and, oh my god. Those, like, underwater monsters scare me so much.
I have some of that too, but I like that. I thought it was
it's
really
so
beautiful.
claustrophobic
And moody. I liked how moody it was.
I love
moody and broody.
The animation and art was just amazing.
Yeah, it is a pretty last couple of episodes for sure. With the jungle and all of the new creatures. Yeah.
So,
I missed.
Just to interject for a second, I just checked the time,
Oh my
and this is
goodness,
gonna have to be my last match.
Sorry.
Oh, okay, sorry about
No
that.
problem.
We got so sidetracked with those droid conversations.
Sorry, I didn't mean to like derail stuff. I feel bad.
No, it's okay.
Playing
Really
devil's advocate too hard.
We're just so passionate about droids.
Oh, I can't believe it.
That's my fault. That was my fault.
No, that was me. Okay, I've learned that I don't want to use the like swear symbol because I think that's really. Blech. But so, I started using WoW when I really. I mean, like.
No.
I feel like WoW is more toxic than fuck.
WoW.
I read WoW as being like really, it's sarcastic. It's like so harshly mean girl sarcastic. Like, wow. I can't believe that shit
that's
happened.
what I'm using it as.
Pistons
It
is
helps
a
me.
girl.
What? Oh.
But yeah, what you were saying, Yo-Yo, about like going diving and whatnot, like I got to do it once. And there was a moment where I like
Nope, don't tell
no
me.
shit. I did have like a moment of panic. So like I know what you're talking about, but the rest of the time it was so cool
Yeah,
because
so
we were like by
where'd you
this
go?
coral reef. It
Oh,
was it was on my second deployment when I was on a Mew, and we were going around to different ports, and we stopped in Jordan for some training, and my group got back. You know, we went out with the tankers and everything, and we got back like the day before the tankers because they move so slow, you know. That then the next day they were like, okay, if you guys want to go to this resort, and you know, you can go scuba diving and do this and that. So we went to like this we went to this resort, and we went out for, I think it was like a half hour, and we went scuba diving. So it was awesome. Like I loved it, but I did have that one moment of panic.
did something happen? Was there anything like going on that made you scared?
My I don't even
Sorry.
know the names of the parts, but like my mouthpiece got disconnected from the hose
Okay,
for
so
my
you're
oxygen.
later.
So
Oh, okay.
one
You had a
breath.
backup one?
Yeah, I think there was a backup one, but I wasn't in the moment. I wasn't thinking about it. I just like swam up to the surface.
Oh, sorry.
Because we weren't that far under, but like you know, one breath was fine, you know, and then the next breath I got a mouthful of water and I was like, ah.
So I have an anxiety disorder and have a history of panic attacks. And I went snorkeling one time and saw a manta ray or stingray. I don't know the difference between them. That was bigger than me. Like, it was much bigger than me. And I like freaked out, had a little panic attack, swallowed some water, and I was just like puking over the side of the boat the whole way home.
Oh no.
But so like now I'm doing the scuba certification sort of as like exposure therapy, and the certification process, like the actual being underwater with the scuba tank and all that stuff is not as stressful as I thought it would be. The certification process is stressful is because they make you do all of the things that could go wrong so that you know how to, so like, you know, I would know how to in your situation, you know, easily do that without, you know, having to swim up to the surface, because you can't just swim up to the surface if you're like 30, 40 feet underwater.
Right.
So like that's the scary part for me. And then also the low visibility thing is terrifying. I'm like pretty claustrophobic. So like not being able to see, like I'm only gonna go scuba diving in the tropics with clear water, nice shot pistons. Never gonna go in like murky things. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna go spelunking, not like underwater, whatever. Is that what's it called when you go underwater? Cave diving?
Cave diving.
Cave diving?
It's called cave
Okay.
diving.
Oh.
But
Yeah.
spelunking does include scuba tanks sometimes.
Caving.
Yeah, so yeah, none of that stuff sounds fun to me.
I love spelunking.
Yeah, like
I
above
only-
water?
Yeah.
I'll do that.
I only did it a couple of times, but it was awesome. We got to go into like this cave. I forget what it was called, but it was like a private cave. It was a private cave that this club had, and we got permission to go in there. And there were some pretty tight spaces, but it was fun.
Ah, stressful. Yeah, so I had a little bit of anxiety during that underwater episode, but
Yeah.
I'm glad that they got it out. When she was stuck under the debris and AZ, like, his battery died, I was like, oh no, she's gonna drown. Yeah, I cried a little bit when AZ's battery died. It's okay.
This Warvet, you're 100% right. There are monsters down there, and that's why they are stupid, and that's why I'm taking a stake with me. Stake and hammer. I will have silver bullets. I will have a torch. I will have fire. I will have everything to deal with that. Hunting.
All right. So, Smedley, any final thoughts before you head out? I know you gotta go.
Yeah. No, I don't think so.
Any like big like scenes that we should talk more about that we didn't get to talk about that you think we should? I mean, you won't be here for it, but we could talk about it.
Or any themes?
I think we went over everything that I can.
Or any complaints?
I mean, there's the fact that as a Star Wars fan, I wish there was more than just 16 episodes, but that's. I'll just have to wait for season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this show really grew on me. I really liked it.
Thanks, Highly Sensitive Unicorn, for gifting LewDog77 a tier 1 sub. Thank you so much, whoever Highly Sensitive Unicorn is. LewDog, make sure you buy Highly Sensitive Unicorn a beer. Do something, I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
Just put a cool emoji in the chat. That'll do. All right, Smedley, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And I'm looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, you gotta figure out
Awesome.
how you're doing music next time.
Yeah.
Sounds good. All right, tell your partner we said hi.
I will.
Take care.
Bye, Smedley.
Bye.
Bye.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna ask, are we gonna keep going? We getting more rounds in, or are we out, or are we switching over to Knockout City?
Oh, I know you're just like really trying to get Pistons like into that.
Into Knockout City.
Look at the
I just got a
eyebrows.
pretty
Can't
cool
deny
boost
the
trail. It's a rainbow boost trail. It's pretty sweet.
Oh, yeah.
Evo, you gotta show it to us in game, so make that happen.
Okay. Well, let's play a competitive one.
Okay.
It's back.
Here we go.
Oh, I got a new player title.
Season 4. We'll all unrank now. So
Hold on, I want to change my player title real quick. Because I just got a new one. Really funny. No, it's a. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Let me look at my notes real quick because I wrote so many things down that I thought were interesting. Oh, so can we talk a little bit about imperialism?
Mhm.
No.
So, well, because in the Kaminoans, like they're like completely decommissioned, and then they just literally bomb their entire planet and destroy it. Like it just kind of reminds me of, American imperialism, where we like go in, like use a bunch of resources or occupy a space because we want the resources, and then when we're like we're done with this, or we've got what we needed, we just leave it, and that's like history of like American imperialism kind of. And then I saw that sort of like in what happened to the Kaminoans, and then like Omega just like watching her homeland just be destroyed for no other reason except that the Empire was done with it. That's the only reason.
Well, I think
Well,
the
and they
bigger
don't
reason though is that they don't want other people to have, or other factions to have access to that technology.
Yeah, but it's interesting because like they don't want the clones anymore because they think like their other options are better, but they know that it's threatening enough that they don't want other people to have it, and that's just straight up imperialism.
Yeah.
Oops,
that was not.
And then so Sin, you're our token vet. Sorry. Do you see any like relevant themes to like your time in the military or any current military themes in that?
Gosh.
It's so
I mean,
hard to answer.
it's a hot seat.
Like,
Yeah, like you don't have to. I was just.
Yes, but no. Like.
Okay.
I don't know. Like. Yes, because that's what America has done, and that's the definition of imperialism, fascism. Like, it's what it's part of it, right? It's colonialism, and so while the modern military necessarily done that completely.
Nice shot.
In so much that
I don't know what happened there.
Laid everything out, but it definitely has abandoned areas and okay. Activist Warbet says, "Let's talk about the real question. Why is imperialism spelled with an I and empire spelled with an E?"
Yeah, I want to see what an empire is. It's an empire of imps, which that sounds cool to me.
Empire.
An empire.
Yeah.
I'm here for the Sinpire. What I'm here for.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh. Out of here.
Holding on to that.
Just came to me. I am that good at improv.
Oh my god.
English is dumb. Pacifist Warbat.
How do these teams get all their cars to be perfectly matched? Like, it's so cool looking. Do ours look like that to them?
No.
Well, we don't have perfectly matched cars, but we could do it if we wanted to. We just have to sit here and communicate.
Usually mine is not quite as different in color scheme, I guess. But
I'm really digging my
fancy new paint job.
Extra
Do you
large.
like my do you like my rainbow trail?
Oh,
Isn't it cool?
let me watch. I'm gonna watch it. This. Ooh, yeah.
Wait. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
I like it.
Oh, damn it.
I like mine. Mine's like a rainbow, but arrows.
Ooh, I'll have to pay attention to that.
That's cool. I think they're all white.
And they have like some teal. I like the teal.
Whee! Were there other themes that you wanted to talk about, Pistons, that you didn't get to?
Yeah. Oh, and then they. Oops, hold on. They have they capture or. Well, they capture her. The main.
Oh, the scientist.
The scientist, yeah, and I was like, oh man, that reminds me of some.
Yeah. Okay, I'm glad you brought
Nazi
that up.
shit right there. Yeah.
Like they destroy all of the clones. They destroy anybody else that like isn't of value, but they like take the scientist, and then I had
shit, watch out.
No crap. That was my fault.
Oh, sorry. No, that was 100% me. If you watch the replay.
Alright, well, let's watch the
Like
replay.
it's gonna hit my car.
Yeah,
there it is.
Yeah, but I should have blocked that, and I didn't. So, yeah, I wrote down in my notes how, like, scientists are used to, like, propagate, imperialism. And, like, how we have done that so many times and continue to do that. How we, like, use science, like, to, like, in misguided ways. Like, yeah, and even, like, eugenics, like you talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Eugenics, and then I was even thinking about like nuclear warfare. Like that's science, right? But we take science and then we use it for nuclear warfare, right? Like that wasn't like when scientists discovered like what we could do with like nuclear fusion, fission. Sorry, I'm not a scientist. And like how we could like harness that energy. Like I'm sure the idea wasn't.
Get that ball out of there. Oh, I gotta do wow.
Talking about imperialism, I got distracted.
Oh no.
Yeah, so instead of like, you know, the goal was to like use nuclear, you know, as like a renewable energy source kind of thing, but here we're gonna use it to like make bombs instead. And I'm interested to see what happens to this Cabinoan, I forget her name. Something say. Something
Nor.
Yeah. So yes. Oh. Yeah, so that's... I feel so bad for her.
The scientist?
Mm-hmm. So this is one of those things where it's like, can she say no?
Well, they could execute her.
Prisoner.
Right, yeah, so she could say no, but then she'll die, and so like...
Yeah, it's do it or die.
Yeah. I guess we'll find out in the next season what happens to her and what they force her scientists to do.
Yeah.
Well, I guess like it's already in the canon, probably somewhere. No.
I don't know. I don't know. Like to me, this was the first time, and it might have been somewhere else, and I haven't read it or seen it, where they kind of showed like, oh, this is how there weren't any more clones. They just destroyed everything. Because I haven't seen anything that really addressed that yet.
I think it is the first thing.
Which was a good move on how you can fill in that question.
Yeah, we need a Smedley. Smedley is the resident. Nerd.
Yeah, I haven't read a Star Wars book in like, I don't know, a long time.
Nice. We won.
All right.
All right, so what's the deal? Are we gonna keep playing Rocket League? Are we gonna play some Knockout City? Are we gonna call it a night?
I leave it up to Coach.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to make a decision.
Coach.
Spend all day making decisions.
Oh, because I do like my little tagline. It says, "Oh, Chris, you got it too." Never mind. I thought it was being cool.
Oh, lunkhead.
Oh, lunkhead.
I thought it was funny, and now it's not because Sin already has it.
I'm up to play more if you want. Either one. I just need to take a quick break. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Or we can. I'm also good to end. If you guys want to end, I'm good to end. So.
This is my evening. My evening is here to be spent with you, Little Pistons, and our wonderful community.
How about we're taking a break? We'll play a couple of rounds of Knockout City when you come back. It's like a good little switch.
That sounds fair.
Just a couple, and then we'll call it a night. Because I can't play video games for hours and hours on end. Like my hands get tired. Like literally. Do you hear that?
Yeah. You gotta do some stretches.
I gotta do this stretch. This is like really helpful for my wrists. Ugh. Yeah, and then this one.
For real, like stretches. Okay,
right.
I'll be back in like 2 minutes.
All right, sounds good.
So I'm gonna throw up the intermission screen real quick. It'll be a couple minutes, and then we are switching over to Knockout City. I gotta do techie things for just 10 seconds. Don't go anywhere, anybody. You guys are amazing. Techie.
Oh, I tried to write techie in the chat, but my computer auto-corrected it to tech.
All right, we'll be back in just 2 minutes. Hi. Our wonderful audience. Big hand wave. Going today. Unicorn is choking on camera.
Because you said talking heads, and I guess you probably have it labeled like in your Streamlabs as talking heads.
Exactly.
Is that what? So I was just like kind of laughing to myself that that's what you meant, and I just thought it was funny, and I was eating a pretzel, and so I choked. And now I'm gonna try to switch from playing a game with a controller to playing a mouse and keyboard game. And my brain does not do that kind of thing very well. So I might suck. Oh, but I have audio because now I'm on a computer. No, you're all good. Oh, hi, Mishka. She's such a sloth bear.
Is a sloth.
Pistons, have you ever seen a sloth bear before?
I feel like I have.
Not in real life.
Like I feel like I haven't, but all I'm picturing in my head is a sun bear, and I know that's not the same thing.
Oh, I don't know if I know what that is.
They are horrifying.
Oh, they're cute. What? There's little black bears with like a little patch on their chests, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, but they also have like their joints and everything are weird. They are not bear shaped. And like they're if you do a close up of their face, they almost look like a sloth bear with a smushed fucking face. So it's the pug of the bear world, kind of, with like dead glaze over glaucomic eyes, or like.
Oh my god! Someone has strong opinions.
Their back hips aren't lined up. Like they are weird. They are fucking weird.
The sloth bear or the sun bear?
The sun bear. Sloth bears are fucking adorable.
Okay.
Yeah, like wait, a sloth bear is really cute, and we say Mishka, our dog, looks like a sloth bear. She has like a big, like floofy, like mane, almost like around her neck. That's really funny. She's a funny.
I call my dog my little baked potato. So they say baked potato. But he just